Alright, hello and welcome everybody to another set in Alchemy League Season 7. Season 7 consists of reworked Ensemble Studios maps. Alchemy League is a 1v1 Age of Empires 2 tournament. The best of the best, in my opinion, although I am somewhat biased because I created most of it. But we have custom maps, we've got some very adventuresome players. These guys are the best of the best, and we're lucky enough to see several veterans, actually, in our cast today. There's only one new guy who will hopefully become a veteran of our league soon. The sets that we're going to cover today are Metal Mania versus Flying Mouse and Roderick's versus Ice-T. So let's take a look at these players. Maybe I should get Mountain Dew to sponsor the league. I don't know. I just pulled out one of my Dad's old shirts. I was just noticing on the webcam that you guys can see that. My dad got this from like I think he got it from like some promotional tent in front of Walmart like 20 years ago or something like that. And he got it for the sole purpose of trolling my mother, and it was extremely successful. And my dad's long gone, but I still got the shirt, so it's kind of special to me. So, no, we're not trying to sell anything. We're not trying to convince you to consume Mountain Dew. We're just trying to convince you that the host of Alchemy League loves his daddy. All right, so for seeding, let's take a look at this Metal Mania versus Flying Mouse first. So these guys are down here. So they are pretty close, actually. 1567 average skill level for Metal Mania, and then Flying Mouse 1530-ish or so. Metal Mania, if I remember correctly, is from Argentina, and Flying Mouse is from Germany. And then Rodrix versus Ice-T. So Rodrix is right up here. He's a very good player. 2.3k. So tough guy. Ice-T has his work cut out for him. So here's Ice-T around probably closer to 2.1k. Rodrix, I believe, is from Argentina as well. I know that he is a new player to the league. So this is his first season, and but Ice-T is a veteran. He's been with us since Alchemy League Season 4, I believe. So Ice-T is going to be leaning heavily on his experience with the custom map world with Alchemy League. And we'll see. Maybe he'll be able to take a game off of Rodrix. Alright, so let's go over the Civilization draft for Metal Mania and Flying Mouse. So, the map draft. So the first is the map of the round. These guys played for round 4, and the map of that round was Shipwreck. And then they took turns discarding maps until only one remained, and that map was Canals. So we'll see them play on Shipwreck and Canals. It's a play all 2 currently. And then for Civilization draft, a lot of Goth choices here. Metal Mania ending up with the Goths, the Mayans, the Incas. Flying Mouse ending up with the Vikings, the Sicilians, and the Portuguese. The nature of this draft is such that the admin randomly bans 5 at the beginning, and then they globally ban 2 each, and then they pick 2, snipe 1, and then pick 2 more. So that's how they ended up with this. So we will go over the map and Civilization draft for Rodrix and Ice-T, but needless to say, I always try to set it up so that I'm casting a unique map each game. So Rodrix and Ice-T, we don't know what maps they're playing yet because I haven't announced it, but the maps that they are playing are different. So let's hop into the game now. I think we've got everything that we need. So this is on game 1 of Shipwreck, and I'm just going to change the overlay here so you guys don't have to look at my Mountain Dew shirt. You can now look at the map. So Shipwreck, what is it? Well, it's our rework of the original Ensemble Studios Shipwreck. I believe this is like ESR 08 or something like that. And it uses chickens. We got the new chickens. We kind of, I worked on this extensively in preparation for this season of the league. It's basically got like this this channel, and the channel has some deep fish in it, but then there are also crossings in the channel. I don't know if the players are going to figure that out yet. The specification says that there are crossings, so the players should be able to figure that out, but they may not try to click out there and cross. Okay, looks like Metal Mania has found the crossings. So you can't really see it, but the specification says that it's there. So you can come out here and find some pretty scrawny geese. It's a sea island. There's lots of geese, but it wouldn't be balanced to give the geese 100 food, so I gave them 25 food instead. So they're pretty scrawny little geese, but it's something. Really, the big threat with these geese is you can use them to explore everything. Actually, let's do the Fog of War here. I don't remember what the line of sight of these geese are. I may have changed that, but I don't think so. I think it's the same. Otherwise, players would get confused. Perhaps not, though. So Metal Mania is playing as the Gray Incas, and this makes a lot of sense. You have some resources on your starting island, but you really don't have a lot. You've got a single gold of 3 tiles, and you've got a single gold of 2 tiles, and there's no stone out here. Or in here, I should say, in the middle. There is stone out here. You could maybe come out here and find some stone mines. We may see... The Incas love their crazy... Oh, let's generate the Fog of War. Yeah, it looks like they do have normal vision. And I don't want the demo loop. Okay. So the Incas do not really have a lot of stone to work with on this home island, but they still like their stone. They're known for their funny bonuses and their funny drushes. I remember when the Incas first came out, it was all about the tower rush. They had cheaper towers. The buildings cost less stone, and more importantly, their villagers were affected by blacksmith upgrades. And I don't think it's quite like that anymore, or if it is, it's not. Yeah, villagers are affected by infantry blacksmith upgrades starting in Castle Age, so useless in the Feudal Age. But their military units cost less food, and their houses provide population space. Their buildings cost less stone, so they're not as bad as they used to be. But you know, they could still be quite challenging for Flying Mouse to deal with. All right, so Flying Mouse is playing as the Blue Portuguese. Maybe Flying Mouse is planning some kind of daring fast castle into Portuguese organ guns, or maybe he just wants to go archers. I don't know. The archers costing less gold. It could be really good for him, but resources are quite scarce. It looks like Flying Mouse has discovered... Oh, no, that's Metal Mania. Where's Flying Mouse's scout? Let's check the Fog of War after going over to Flying Mouse's perspective. Okay, yeah, so Flying Mouse also knows, and he's got the traditional scout, he also knows that you can just cross this. Looks like a solid channel, but it's not. Now, the map is designed so that these deep fish are within pockets that are inaccessible to villagers. So, if you want to take these deep fish, you have to build the dock and make fishing ships. There is no other way to get to them. And Metal Mania has not docked at all, actually. Oh, and of course, because it's called Shipwreck, we have to have shipwrecks everywhere. Hey, look, this is a coastal reef area with a small island in the middle, okay? There's going to be shipwrecks everywhere. And we tried to give it like this flooded, low-tide look, you know, so it was kind of plausible that somebody's ships could get blown in here through a tempest and then wreck on this island eventually. So I think it turned out pretty well. So the important thing that we need to note is that Metal Mania appears a lot more committed to something. He's going to do something. Yeah, look at this. He's got a barracks here. Let's switch to Metal Mania's point of view. And this could be really good for him. Is he making anything from the barracks? He's grabbing some gold. So this is telling me that he's planning on a drush, maybe. Nope. Okay, so he's sending 3 villagers out to gold, and he's building a mining camp. So this is going to be man-at-arms. And he's making 1 militia now. He's probably going to make another pretty soon. Yeah, there it is. He's making another militia, so he's going to man-at-arms rush his opponent. I love this. I think this is a fantastic idea. It doesn't look like he's gone out to stone or anything like that. Let's see if Metal Mania knows where stone is. Can Metal Mania... he found a little bit of stone here. And it's not too far away from his base. I mean, it's far, but relatively speaking, it's one of the closer stones that he could take. But he's going to go for this one instead. I love this. And because he's Incas, he only needs 3 villagers on the stone. So Metal Mania is sending these 3 sneaky villagers here. And he's got some man-at-arms in queue. Or he's got militia in queue, I should say. And he's making another one. And he's going to be able to afford the man-at-arms upgrade. And he is going to go man-at-arms plus towers. And he's going to drive his opponent. Oh, look at this. He's got to be careful, though. Flying Mouse has found this scout. The scout is actually, in Feudal Age, this scout is actually better than the Eagle Scout. But, sorry, in Dark Age, the Eagle Scout is better than the traditional scout. Alright, so Metal Mania is Feudal Age. Flying Mouse knows that there's some trouble coming. That's pretty fast Feudal. Flying Mouse is halfway up to Feudal himself, though. So Flying Mouse is probably planning something. And Metal Mania right here with a gorgeous tower on this wood line. This is a fantastic tower, and I'll tell you why. Not only does the tower deny a current existing wood line, but let's say that Flying Mouse just gives up. Oh, Metal Mania taking down one of Flying Mouse's villagers. Yeah, you don't really want to fight man-at-arms. And Metal Mania very smartly house walling and palisade walling this tower off from his opponent. So let's say that Flying Mouse just writes off this area, which it appears he's going to do. The tower goes up, the house is being repaired, and the villagers are going to have to run away. So he writes off that area. Then he's only got one place where he can take gold. So this tower does a pretty effective job at damaging Flying Mouse. And it's a very, very smart place for Metal Mania to attack. Now, it looks like Flying Mouse is planning man-at-arms of his own. He's got 3 man-at-arms here. Guys, remember that as Portuguese, man-at-arms cost less gold. Now, the upgrade is still the same cost, but I think Portuguese research it faster. But what's important is that the individual man-at-arms cost less gold. And, oh, no, I don't think Metal Mania wants to fight this. He's got a villager here that is a little bit lost. Metal Mania happens to have an archer out. He's fighting off one of the man-at-arms for Flying Mouse goes down. And now it looks like Metal Mania is going to come in here and drop an outpost to see if he can find what's going on. He knows that there's gold here, and he would probably like to deny this gold. He doesn't know that there's a tower going up here. He might know now. No, he still doesn't know. So he probably wants to build another tower right here or something. Flying Mouse is attempting to wall this area off, but there are archers here for Metal Mania. And Mouse is in trouble. So actually, Metal Mania not really that concerned with this gold. He wants to deny the wood. And that can be actually pretty brutal, because wood is a lot more important than a lot of people think. So there's archers here. These archers could garrison inside of the tower once it is completed. Mouse towered is gold. It looks like he's coming over here and he's going to build a lumber camp on this wood that's kind of under the protection of the tower. And I don't know, I don't think that Mouse is, yeah, Mouse isn't on any other resources on the outside. So whereas Metal Mania snuck out here and he's taking stone for some towers, Mouse is going to need to use the market to build additional towers if he wants to. So probably now what will happen is Metal Mania will wall this tower in, and then he'll build another tower right here. And then Flying Mouse will have to take wood on the outside. Now Flying Mouse still has a score advantage over Metal Mania because he's got these fishing ships here. So he does have some additional villagers. Let's see if we can get this to display like villager count. Yeah, here we go. So total villager count for Flying Mouse is 29, and for Metal Mania it's 26. So Flying Mouse may not have much in the way of map control. You know, he may be under a lot of pressure from Metal Mania in some different locations. He still has an eco lead. And Metal Mania getting in here and slaughtering some chickens with his man-at-arms, that's pretty brutal. So Flying Mouse is going to take this straggler tree instead. He has created a few archers, and he's headed back with some man-at-arms now. Metal Mania is going to try to get this tower up as the Incas. Mouse has charged the base of the tower. Metal Mania has built some houses, some walls, or a house foundation, some walls. I think he's going to lose a couple of villagers building this. But this tower is still totally worth it. He's just unfortunately out of position. You know, Flying Mouse has decided to... Oh no! Metal Mania is bailing on this tower. That is a mistake, I think. Maybe not. Is he going to lose all of his villagers? No, it looks like 2 of these villagers are going to get away. And now Flying Mouse is going to remove the tower threat. So Flying Mouse managing to keep this area secure for now. But that was pretty entertaining. If Metal Mania had had his army in the right place, if Metal Mania's army had been here supporting the tower, he would have gotten that tower up. And then it would probably be GG for Flying Mouse. Look at how strapped Metal Mania is for resources. Let's check Flying Mouse's resources. So Flying Mouse is pretty stretched for resources as well. He's going to build... Oh, what's this? Metal Mania has built 2 docks. I'm wondering if this is... Oh, he's actually going on water. So he's forcing Flying Mouse to defend his fishing ship. So Metal Mania came over here while he was running around with his army, and he spotted that Flying Mouse has made a dock. And so he made 2 docks. Not 1, but 2. And then he was going to make military from those docks to push Flying Mouse off of water. So Flying Mouse... Metal Mania has built a tower here. He's taken Flying Mouse off of this lumber camp. Flying Mouse can't really take wood over here, so he's gonna add another lumber camp to take wood in this location. But Metal Mania is spying on it, so I think Metal Mania is going to know about it because he has an outpost here. Let's see. Yeah, Metal Mania sees that his opponent is building something. And Metal Mania, I don't think Metal Mania could... Actually, he might be able to pressure this. If he moves in here with like a tower, he's sending some military. But the tower is going to go up first. Maybe the military just camps the base of the tower, and then Metal Mania is satisfied. But Metal Mania really giving Flying Mouse a very hard time this game. Flying Mouse just cannot take resources. Man-at-Arms rushing to defend the base of the tower, but there are too many archers here. And actually, that's helpful for Flying Mouse. These skirmishers were prioritizing different units. So actually this army is going to go down. Metal Mania microing it back, but nah, they're going to die. So Flying Mouse has a safe wood line finally. And Flying Mouse has also come out here, and he's taking oysters, and he's taking some stone. So he has safe minerals. He's actually taking a lot of gold. And Flying Mouse still has the score lead. These fishing ships are still alive. And what's Metal Mania doing? Well, he's got a couple of fire ships. Doesn't look like Metal Mania has retasked his villagers or updated his own lumber camp. It looks like he might be trying to get up. He's throwing down some farms now. But he does not have anywhere near the resources. Alright, so Flying Mouse, it looks like he's more so prioritizing Castle Age. He's banking up some food. Metal Mania seeing these villagers, and he wants a piece of them, but the villagers, this is not shallow terrain here. This is solid land terrain that's masked to give the appearance. It's masked to give the appearance of water. All right, that villager makes the mistake of coming out there and trying to get some repairs in, but Metal Mania is going to burn her to death. And then he's probably going to come up here and look for the fishing ships. Flying Mouse has built a new dock. The fish on this is not very good, the deep fish. Okay, so Flying Mouse is on his way up to the Castle Age. He's taking stone, and he's still taking gold over here. He was taking some oysters, but he's more heavily focused on stone. And he will probably come over here in the Castle Age and try to drop a castle on his opponent. Now, what on earth is Metal Mania? Oh, he's just refreshing his lumber camp. Okay. Well, he's still got a couple of bored villagers over here. Alright, so lumber camp goes up. But Metal Mania really needs to focus on the next age. He's very heavily invested in the feudal age. These fishing ships, I don't know how these fishing ships are still alive. Metal Mania has not seemed to find them yet. He's too busy getting distracted by Mouse. Okay, here he goes. He's got to find these. He's got to find them. He's invested so much in taking Flying Mouse off of water. Alright, this stone is all gone. Let's see how much stone Flying Mouse has. Flying Mouse has exactly enough stone. He's got one on stone somewhere. No, he's got 0. Okay, he has exactly enough stone to build a castle. And I don't know where that castle is going to go. But it'll probably go like right here. If he's bold, it'll go right here. If he's not bold, if he's like feeling very timid, he'll build it like right here or something. He's built a stable, and he's going to make some knights. He's going to make some knights, and he's going to put some pressure on Metal Mania. Using knights. Knights are very effective against feudal age units. Alright, Metal Mania has killed Flying Mouse on the water. Flying Mouse doesn't have any more fishing ships that I can see. And Flying Mouse has cleared up Metal Mania's fire ships, but I don't think Metal Mania cares too much because there aren't any fishing ships to deny. Alright, so this is a bold castle drop from Flying Mouse. He knows that he has a big lead, and Metal Mania calls the GG. Flying Mouse is victorious. Unfortunately, Metal Mania could not quite finish off Flying Mouse. Mouse was able to sneak off and take resources somewhere else. And I think Metal Mania's army was out of position too. And that resulted in Flying Mouse being able to take resources up in this location. Which was a disadvantage for Flying Mouse, or for Metal Mania, that Flying Mouse could continue to have that space. So GG, well played. It was a good try for Metal Mania, but he just didn't quite kill Flying Mouse. Let's take a look at the statistics. Oh, both players had 20 units killed and 20 units lost. Flying Mouse destroyed 3 buildings. Metal Mania lost 3 buildings, and they were probably towers or like houses or something, partially converted or constructed buildings. Flying Mouse with more food collected. Wow, a lot more food. Basically 800 more food collected, which is funny because, you know, he went up to the Castle Age. Metal Mania with more wood collected. They both collected 700 stone, but Flying Mouse collected way more gold too. Metal Mania, he never made it to the Castle Age. Flying Mouse did. Both had a villager high of 43. Now let's go and take a look at the second game, which is played on Canals. Canals was made by a friend of mine, Zetnus, for Alchemy League Season 7. It is an improvement upon the existing Canals map. The map that is the Ensemble Studios Classic. Our version, it has a little bit more uniform forests here, more fair resources that are, you know, a little bit better balanced. It adds the oysters, and it has elevation on it too. So you can do the elevation cleverly, even though this canal is technically formed after the elevation. If you're clever about it, you can make sure that the canal never like intersects this elevation at all. So Flying Mouse is playing as the blue Sicilians, and Metal Mania is playing as the gray Mayans. So I think Mayans are quite popular on this map, but I don't exactly understand why yet. It seems like everybody's got a reasonable number of resources. So I don't really know that resources lasting longer is really that big of a deal on this map. I just don't understand it. Maybe there's a good reason, and somebody in chat can help me understand it. Yeah, I mean the cheaper archers, the starting extra villager, but like so what? Sicilians, I don't really get Sicilians either. I don't understand these choices for this map. My mind is drawing a blank here. Maybe Flying Mouse is thinking, oh, you know, I'll use the Sicilian donjons and I'll creep across the canal and I'll deny all this food. I don't understand the logic. The same way that I don't understand why Flying Mouse built a lumber camp here when, like, this is a way better lumber camp location in the back. See where Metal Mania built his lumber camp? Fantastic. It's right next to some stone. Metal Mania has some safe stone. He's actually got a pretty good map this time. I think his map is better than Flying Mouse's, if you want to know the truth. He's got some convenient forest patches that he could use to wall some critical resources in. The only thing that could potentially be a challenge is his gold is a little bit forward. Whereas Flying Mouse, I mean, he's got a gold here. And I wouldn't say that it's forward, but it definitely seems like Metal Mania has some more of these forests around his base, making it a little bit easier to wall. So I definitely give Metal Mania the map advantage here. Flying Mouse is building a very forward dock, actually. I don't know what that is about, but it tells me that Flying Mouse plans on being aggressive on this canal. So whether or not it's galleys or fire ships, I mean, this map, in general, I will say that this map is good for fire ships because there's not really a lot of space for galleys to micro and maneuver. There's not a lot of places to go. It's basically just up or down in this case. So fire ships can get a good surround. They're more likely to be able to get a good surround over galleys than some stupid map with a massive amount of open space and like islands that you can micro around, and the fire ships are all just kind of clambering past each other. That stuff is really annoying. But this one, a good, solid, no galley micro type map. No nonsense. And that's what we like. Alright, so it looks like Flying Mouse is coming over here, and he's taking Metal Mania's fish. Wait, what? He's taking Metal Mania's fish? Surely, I mean, there's like safer fish. What's he doing? Maybe Mouse is just resolved to prevent Metal Mania from getting as much fish as possible. He's just like, yeah, you know, I'm just going to come over here and take this fish. Oh, Metal Mania with a villager pickoff. Very nice. So Flying Mouse not paying attention, and Metal Mania picking off a villager. Is Flying Mouse now getting Loom? Yeah, he's getting it now. But that is unfortunate for Flying Mouse. I don't know what the plan was with this forward dock. Surely Flying Mouse could have noticed that there's like an opportunity to build a dock closer to his town. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that Flying Mouse has just clicked up to the feudal age now, and Metal Mania is 75% of the way there. So Metal Mania with a big advantage here. Maybe his build was a little bit cleaner. I mean, Mayans do have good eco. They essentially start with an extra villager. So, I mean, they do start with an extra villager. They have to get Loom immediately. And then they're a villager ahead as soon as their opponent gets Loom as well. And, oh, look at this. We got some villagers headed forward. And Flying Mouse is going to build some fortifications. So this is, as we expected, Flying Mouse is building a donjon. And he's building a mining camp on his stone as well. So it's not just one donjon. It seems to be more than one donjon. Flying Mouse is desiring to shut down enemy fish production. Or collection, I should say. Nobody produces fish. Okay, so Metal Mania's got kind of like a little wall going on here. He's walled this off, and he's making a barracks. Is he going eagles? He's got a lot on gold. He could be going just archers. Okay, he's going to take advantage of this wall here. Probably smart. I mean, I would be greedy and wall out to here, but that's just me. Okay, so it seems like Metal Mania. He's feudal age. He's going fires, but I think that Flying Mouse is actually not going to go water at all. He's not going to build any navy. He's just going to make donjons and let the donjons sink the fire galleys. Maybe the logic is that he builds another dock here and he just dock blocks this, and then he works inward with the donjons and then sinks the fire galleys, sinks the fishing ships, sinks everything. Oh, no, I lied. Flying Mouse made a fire ship. This donjon is helping out. This fire ship is... Got to be careful not to fight outside the protection of this donjon. And what's Flying Mouse doing? Is he going to have... He's trying to get out of there. He's only got one on stone. He's really not prioritizing... He's not prioritizing additional donjons. He's just got this one donjon here. But the thing is that Metal Mania will just like save up until he has enough fire ships, and then he'll just come right through and not care, and then just sink the fish. That's what I would do. So I'm not really sure what Mouse is... Okay, Mouse has got a Sergeant. Okay, I think this is the first Sergeant that he's made. And he's making more. He's got more queued up. Metal Mania trying to wall this off. I don't think Metal Mania knows about these Sergeants. Maybe he does. Maybe he got a glimpse of it. He does seem to be prioritizing walling off. Yeah, he knows about it. He saw it with his ships, so he knows that they're coming. And he's prioritizing building all of these houses to keep the Sergeants out. But remember, Sicilians have extra transport ship stuff. I don't know. The devs are always changing it, you guys. I don't know what to make of it. What's the transport ship bonus that they have now? Oh, okay. It's transport ships have 5 additional line of sight and cost half as much. Alright, so Flying Mouse attacking this house. So he's not going to get in. I don't think he should build any more. If he really wanted to get in, he's got to build another donjon, but that's a big commitment. And I think he would like to. He's got the foundation for a donjon here, but the Sergeants cannot get in. So he should just build it here instead. Sink a bunch of fire ships. Actually, if Oh, Flying Mouse, what are you doing? He built another dock here, but it's not like... I guess he could build like a transport ship or something, or 2 transport ships, and block that little gap. But if he starts to restrict the space that Metal Mania's fire ships can exist in, then they'll just run and sink as many fishing ships as they can before dying. Alright, so Flying Mouse... Oh, alright, nice. He's building a donjon here. And Metal Mania is forced to build a defensive tower. But donjons deal bonus damage to towers, so... You know, tower is not really a good long-term solution, but it's the only thing that he can make, because he's not teched into any units. Let's take a look at Metal Mania's resources to see how far away he is from getting to the next stage. He's actually not really close. He did manage to force down a donjon in Flying Mouse's base. Flying Mouse is in trouble. He's got to get away from that. He has not really walled himself. He just has one donjon that's sort of securing some wood, some gold, and some stone, but not perfectly, because it's just one donjon. And Mouse does not finish this donjon because this tower has gone up. Mouse is just... nothing's working for him in this game. Kind of started out with Metal Mania getting that villager that built this dock. The dock was a little bit aggressive, I think. It was way too close to his opponent for what it needed to do at the time. And what is this, though? It's like a... It would actually make a lot of sense to have a lumber camp right here. Maybe that's where Flying Mouse is going, or maybe he's up to something different. Not sure. He's building a donjon in this location. And as always, the Mayans have archers everywhere. So here are some archers that have come to deny this location. Oh, wait. Metal Mania. He hasn't gotten any kills. He's going to try to get a kill, but he can't. There are too many villagers to build that donjon, and those archers go down. So, Flying Mouse has secured a wood line here at least. He may not be able to take wood anywhere else. And sure enough, Metal Mania sending these fire ships through, sunk Flying Mouse's fire ships in the middle, and now the fire ships are just going to kind of hang out here. Flying Mouse does have more stone. Now, Metal Mania very heavily on stone himself. Maybe this is indicative of a castle. Yeah, he's on his way to the Castle Age. And he's getting... Yeah, he's going to get a castle. That's what he wants. So Metal Mania Castle Age in just a few minutes. I don't know where Mouse is going here. He's going to get the range upgrade. And Mouse only has 2 on food. So he knows that he needs to get Castle Age. And so he's going to throw down a mill and add some farms. Flying Mouse is fighting on. He has not finished his berries yet. Oh, alright, he wants to finish this donjon. Well, this donjon, to be fair, could be quite damaging to his opponent. I don't know how long this donjon can stay up, though. Villagers are shanking the base of it for Metal Mania. Yeah, it's too late. Flying Mouse can't do anything. He needs to just get out of there. It was not worth finishing that donjon. And Flying Mouse calls the GG. Hey, Crazy Joe, welcome. So, Flying Mouse tried to be aggressive this game, and he did have some decent moments, but he also made some mistakes, and Metalmania punished those mistakes. It's unfortunate when you cast, a set in Alchemy League, and basically the winner was whoever played it safe, because we like people to take risks. It would have been cool for Metalmania's aggression last game to work out for him, and it would have been cool for Flying Mouse's aggression this game to work out for him, but unfortunately it just didn't. But that's okay. It can't always work out. I watched a cast recently where one player aggressively monk rushed another player, and he was kind of a lower seed, and he was able to make stuff happen from that, and it was a pretty exciting upset. So, it can vary. You never know. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Metalmania with 25 kills and 12 losses. So Flying Mouse just had some rough KDs to begin with. Metalmania with a larger army of 15. Metalmania with more food and wood collected. Flying Mouse, more stone. Metalmania with more gold. Metalmania with better advancement times, better exploration, better research, and better villager high. Just across the board. Flying Mouse just had a rough game this time. And that's okay. We all have rough games from time to time. So now let's go back to the home channel. And I'm just going to show the maps for Roderick's and Ice-T. So we've got Moats as the Game 1 map. And then they took turns discarding maps until only Paradise Islands remains. Or Paradise Island, I should say. Their civilization drafts are available to Roderick's are Portuguese, Hindustanis, and Georgians. And available to Ice-T are Cumans, Spanish, and Lithuanians. So with that, let's get into the game. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so at the beginning of the stream, we went over the players. Roderick's is, I believe, from South America. I have to learn exactly which country he's from in South America because he's new to the league this season. And he's around 2K3, and Ice-T is around 2K1. So they're both very, very good players. Ice-T is a veteran. He's going to be leaning heavily on his experience in order to survive this set, because he's up against a pretty tough opponent. Ice-T is from Germany. So Roderick's is in the red. He is playing as the Georgians. He's at about 4 o'clock. And Ice-T is around 10 o'clock, and he is playing as the Cumans. So Canals, what is it? Well, sorry, Moats, what is it? Well, we wanted to do a map that actually looked like a medieval-style moat, so Zetnus cooked this one up for us, you guys. We rely heavily on Zetnus for help with maps for Alchemy League. We got ourselves a little moat here. We got some bridges, and we got some gates next to those bridges. You have some basic... Roderick's is from Argentina. Thank you, Crazy Joe. I appreciate that. I suspected that it was Argentina, but I wasn't sure. Argentina's got a lot of very good players. So we've got these... We got some small forests here. We got some basic bushes, but these forests are pretty bad. You don't want to build a lumber camp here unless you've got some really good plan, some really good strategy built around that. The much better wood lines are outside, but obviously they are dangerous. It's not as safe to take wood out here. And there are some resources. You got some gold and some stone in your walls, but again, the majority of it's outside. You have one boar inside of your walls, and then I think you have 2 boars outside of your walls. And then there's the occasional predator guarding the side of your moat. It looks like Ice-T is here pushing some ibex in. So he's got a sheep here standing and holding the gate open. And what's Roderick's doing? I don't know. So probably what we're going to see is these guys are pretty tough guys. And tough guys like to be greedy if they can. Roderick's... I don't know what the Georgians do in the feudal age here. Maybe Roderick's will go like scouts in feudal age and try to punish Ice-T if Ice-T... Oh, he's fighting off a polar bear. And it was a good thing, too, that she had some help. Ice-T is actually going to send her home. That's pretty smart. It's kind of dangerous having such a weak lady out there. So he's like, well, I got walls. I might as well send her home. So these guys helped her fight off that polar bear. But that's unfortunate for Ice-T. But it happens. But I was going to say that Roderick's may go scouts. Just to get some scouts in and see if he can raid his opponent's resource collection outside. Scouts are never going to tear down these walls. These are stone walls. But maybe he could still get some damage in that way. But I actually don't think he will go scouts. I think Roderick's will assume that his opponent is competent enough that he will small wall his lumber camp and his mining camp, and then he'll be long finished with chickens before this game is... Before Roderick's could have the opportunity to go scouts. So I would be surprised if Roderick's went scouts. I think Roderick's will go fast castle. I could be mistaken about that. Looks like he's coming out here to take some chickens. These are wild chickens, so these chickens cannot be herded. So you got to build a mill here. Looks like he's going to build a mule cart, though, because he's Georgians and they don't get mills. Actually, they do. All right, well, he's building a mule cart here because you can put hunted meat in the mule cart, apparently. It's kind of a jack of all trades, a multi-purpose drop point. Very powerful. He's got his lumber camp back here. I think Georgians get that free mule cart, if I remember correctly. But I will have to double check that, because I'm not terribly familiar with the new civs. So Ice-T is halfway up to the feudal age. He clicked up on 19 pop, 18 villagers. He's probably going to go for that additional town center to be built. But he might go for some funky ram strategy. They do get rams. They get battering rams early. All right, let's go over and take a look at some of the Georgian bonuses. Yeah, they start with the free mule cart. That is just a huge... I honestly don't get that. Like, that is a big problem. The devs should not do that. Everybody's screaming about that. It's just completely unfair. Units and buildings receive 15% less damage when located on higher elevation. Their mounted units regenerate, and their fortified churches give villagers a work rate bonus within 8 tiles. But this eco bonus right here with the mule cart, that's tough stuff. Ice-T deciding he's going to push his ibex this way, toward this mill instead. And looks like he started off on a wall here. I think that this might be closed. I think this is probably open, but it would be easy enough to close. And he may decide to wall all of this off. Okay, he's going to build his second town center here. It's on a wood line. It's on a gold. So it's pretty comfortable. It's a safe place to build. And Roderick's has clicked loom, I believe. And then he is advancing to the feudal age immediately afterwards. So Roderick's a little bit slower of a feudal age than Ice-T. Let's see, it's 25 pop with loom. So it's fast castle territory. I don't think we're going to see any feudal aggression from Roderick's. Now, if Roderick's is smart, or maybe if he's lucky, I think, and I can't give these guys advice, but I would recommend Roderick's monk rush his opponent. Or, go some kind of like castle age aggression. For the Cumans to do the 2-town center boom in feudal age, it's just very time consuming. It slows them down a lot. Okay, yeah, so Ice-T confirms that this is open, and he's like, alright, well, I need to go over here now. And this should be open as well. So he's going to come plug this up. And he'll have to wall next to the bridge as well. Alright, let's see. What is Roderick's doing? He's feudal age now. Market. And perhaps a blacksmith. What? What in the world is that? Is some bird building a nest on my eave? Hold on, you guys. 1 sec. I gotta check that. Yeah, so market and blacksmith. So Roderick's is going fast castle. And Ice-T is feudal booming. And he wants to finish this wall off. He will succeed in finishing this wall off. So he's got himself a nice little space here. Let's check the villager count. So Ice-T with 33 villagers and Roderick's with 26. So Roderick's on his way up to the castle age now. He's got started up him a ring of farms out. And I don't see a barracks yet. There's a house for some visibility. So we can see if his opponent comes through this gap. And there's a hole in the wall. And Roderick's microing to take a hill advantage. Ice-T's going to fight this scout. Roderick's decides not to try to finish this villager, so that's very lucky for Ice-T. And Ice-T going to plug the hole. So Ice-T with 36 villagers to 26 villagers. Just... Alright, sorry about that, guys. It sounded like a bird was knocking. Had some bird working on the eave of my house. Alright. Well, didn't miss anything, right? Castle Age. And Ice-T trying to finish off this scout. And Roderick's is going to add another town center, which I think is a bad idea. I think when the Cubans do their boom thing and they give you, they give you a marvelous opportunity and power spike and you don't take advantage of it, I think that it is a mistake. But we'll see. These guys are way better than I am. They know better than I do. So Roderick's building a town center as Georgians. He's got to catch up by, let's see. Well, 49 would be 20 villagers, so he's got to catch up 17 villagers, essentially, through access to more than 2 town centers. And I think that could take him a while. And I'm wondering if these guys are just going to do the boom fest. Ice-T coming over here. He's going to add a house just because he knows his opponent is in the castle age, so he knows that knights could take this palisade down pretty quickly. So he's going to add a house here just to give himself some more time in case he gets attacked. I think Ice-T is expecting to be attacked, and that's why he did this right here. He's building himself a stable now, and it looks like he's building a blacksmith now. So I think he's expecting to be attacked, but the attack is not coming. Roderick's he's built a fortified church here to boost the work rate of his lumberjacks, and he's built another town center here to make villagers. And he's still continuing to make villagers, and he's building another fortified church. And he's probably going to try to collect some relics. Now, is this fortified church attacking the scout? No, it's not. The scout is too fast. It's a cumin scout, after all. Guys, remember that Alchemy League is standard victory condition. So, you get all the relics scattered across the map, and you can start a countdown to win the game. So you definitely don't want to let your opponent just get all the relics for no reason. But yeah, these both look like economic fortified churches. When, maybe one of them builds a monk and he picks up a couple relics, but Roderick's really believes that he can outboom his opponent. And he does have a skill advantage over his opponent. But so far, both players very passive. Ice-T with a score lead. Ice-T, 56 villagers now. Roderick's with 44. And what is this? What is this? He just finished collecting some stone. 679 stone. And Ice-T is going to castle drop his opponent. Wait, what? Except he builds this house first. That's kind of a strange choice. I don't understand that. Maybe it's the nature of his hotkeys and then he deletes it. And he's going to build a castle here instead. Okay, he's going to castle drop himself. This is a castle on a hill. It's a good defensive castle. It basically nails down this flank for him. I mean, with dedication, Roderick's could get through this corner. But Ice-T could continue to wall this off. He doesn't really need it very much. And Roderick's coming over here for a castle drop of his own. Imagine if he had prioritized doing this castle drop first. You know, he could be in here by now. Castle automatically firing upon the polar bear. And then these villagers are probably just going to build a lumber camp here. Yep. Ice-T trying to finish off this scout of Roderick's. Roderick's going to rebuild this house. Ooh, both of these scouts are actually weak. Whoever gets the first doink wins. Roderick's trying to trap Ice-T's scout. But Ice-T is too fast. He's the Cumans. And we got Kipchaks coming. So Ice-T kind of taking his time in the feudal age, and I think he's now going to play an aggressive castle age. I don't think he's going to add any more town centers. Oh. Alright, he's going to add another town center. But it looked like he was making military units. But he's also going to be aggressive. He's building a siege workshop, and he's planning on taking the fight to his opponent. So Roderick's had an opportunity in Castle Age to pressure his opponent and take advantage of a technology boost. And instead he boomed, even though that boom did not catch him up to Ice-T in economy. And he's going to try to continue booming. He's going to build another town center to get ahead. And Ice-T is slowly adding to the military pressure. Maybe Roderick's can keep himself fully defended with fortified churches and town centers and such. But I am skeptical. I guess we'll see. I'll keep watching. Each of these Kipchaks with their multiple arrows, they're very good at taking down stone walls. Actually, I don't know about very good, but they're better than normal. Actually, they don't really have to continue attacking this. He can, yeah, okay, he can just go in that way. Now, Kipchaks, they are a fun unit to micro. They can deal a lot of damage, but they're also easy to damage, because they have very little health and very little armor, and not much range. Roderick's built his castle here, and he's got a town center here. Alright, so Ice-T has some Kipchaks, and he's got a ram. And actually, as Cumans, he could upgrade that ram to a capped ram, and he should. He should totally upgrade that ram to a capped ram. Is he working on that? No, but he could afford it. He could afford it. So he's trying to prevent Roderick's from getting this archery range up. But he does not succeed. Roderick's gets the archery range up. Yeah. Come on, man. Get capped ram. He's even building a second siege workshop. Come on, Ice-T. Get capped ram. Maybe he forgot that he gets access to it. But if you're going to invest that much in rams, you might as well get the technology for them. Ice-T continuing to make Kipchak. I think he's still only got one castle. I don't think he's added any other buildings other than this monastery to pick up occasional relics. And he's going to add another castle. Oh, yikes. Okay, he's gotten the capped ram technology now. I actually don't think this castle is necessary with the capped ram. Capped ram, we're going to micro back. I guess the ram is going to soak some skirmisher slings. And it's going to give time for this castle to go up. So this castle will hurt. It will take Roderick's off of this wood. Castle managing to take out both of the mangonels, which really hurts Roderick's because that was his only defense against these rams. Now Ice-T has to be careful that his Kipchaks don't take too much damage. Town center goes down and the ram push continues. Now the Kipchaks could also be good against these mangonels. They could micro against them. And the Kipchaks deal more damage to high pierce armor targets like mangonels. You can see that. Single volley. And the... Oh! Big hit though. Some Kipchaks die and a lot of injured Kipchaks. He's probably going to garrison them in his castle now. And the ram push continues. He sent some villagers forward to repair the ram. And we've got a Manaspa here from Roderick's. And these rams are trying really hard to take down this castle. We got Kipchaks here microing against villagers. I think Ice-T should try to pull these Kipchaks underneath the town center, maybe, so that they don't take as much damage. Oh, there's a mangonel here. Alright, that's what he wants. That's what he wants to stop. And there's a lot of rams working on this castle. And Ice-T is doing this at 100 villagers. And Roderick's is almost caught up in villager count at this point. But I think this castle will go down. There's enough rams here that Ice-T is gathered around it. And yep, there it is. So the castle goes down, which is a big loss for Roderick's. Ice-T being rewarded for his aggression here. So there's an army of skirmishers that Ice-T is avoiding. Let's see. Oh, Ice-T wants to drop a castle here, but Roderick's already has a castle. Yeah, and Ice-T doesn't know about it. He just knows that his opponent is potentially farming here and has a gold here. Roderick's really wants a castle here. So we can see from Ice-T's perspective, he's trying to rebuild it. Ice-T sending the Kipchaks, cutting down the castle building villagers. I think he's going to let it go up. Ice-T is nearly Imperial Age, so that's probably why he's allowing it to go up. He doesn't really care. Once he hits Imperial Age, he'll either make trebuchets or he'll get Siege Ram. He'll probably make trebuchets. This castle is within range of Ice-T's castle. So if these rams approach the base of this castle and Roderick's tries to shank them down, this castle will deal heavy damage to the Manaspas. If he clicks it. Okay, he's telling him to attack now. But there were some delays. These rams will not be very effective against this castle. All that Ice-T has to do is pop his Kipchaks out and micro the rams down. But he doesn't want to do that yet, actually. He's going to send the capped rams in instead to deal with this. Roderick's investing a lot in taking this castle down. It looks like Ice-T might be just allowing this castle to die. I don't understand it. He might be really trying to protect his Kipchak numbers for some reason. Or maybe he overestimated or underestimated the effect of his rams, and Roderick sees that the castle is saved and calls the GG. That was a good game. I think that, oh, and Ice-T had a raiding party back here, too. I think Roderick's underestimated the potency of Ice-T's Cumin Boom. Did he ever catch up in Villagers, though? He never did catch up in Villagers. Ice-T was always able to keep Roderick's behind him, which is pretty impressive. Roderick's had the advantage to Castle Age first, but he didn't use it. He tried to catch up to Ice-T instead, and was punished. Well played to both players, though. Let's take a look at the statistics. Crazy Joe will be right back. Ice-T with 69 kills, 48 units lost, 16 buildings razed, and none lost for Ice-T, because he managed to keep that castle alive. Largest army of 33. Ice-T with more food and wood collected, Roderick's with slightly more stone collected, and Ice-T with more gold collected. Ice-T faster feudal age, Roderick's with much faster castle age, and Ice-T with an imperial age time. Both players built 3 castles or had 3 castles standing at one point in the game. Roderick's captured 3 relics, Ice-T captured 1, and villager high of 126 to 110. Okay, let's go back to replays, and let's spectate the second game. Paradise Island. So Paradise Island was made by Magico and myself, and basically what it is there are some relics on an island in the middle. Well, this is actually a sanctuary, and this is a lagoon. And then there is, some fish around the outside of the map, because you are on an island. But the fish are not great, and they are defended by predators. In this case, polar bears. So you can't go out directly. You can go out later. You probably should go out later. But the gold situation on this map is very, very lacking. It looks like Ice-T has a single 4-tile gold right here, 5 tiles of stone, and Roderick's has a 4-tile gold here and 5 tiles of stone. Looks like there are some neutral resources far away from Ice-T's base. They are technically closer to him. Looks like there is a neutral stone here and a neutral gold here as well. It's a little bit closer to Roderick's. So there's not a lot of neutral gold on this map, or even player assigned gold, really. So that means that you really want to try to go for these relics if you can. Now you'll note that they have like this glowing antiquity style transport ship, and this transport ship, great, more polar bears, exactly. These transport ships are like the transport ship from the space map Neptune. So these transport ships they regenerate, and they have a garrison capacity of 232, and they are unkillable. If you destroy them, they will come back. They will respawn as themselves. And that's important because this transport is the only way to get to the sanctuary. You cannot dock here. You can't build a dock. You can't make ships in this location. But you can use the transport ship to potentially perform some cheeky landings on your opponent. So Ice-T is playing as the Blue Lithuanians. If Ice-T is able to get all of the relics, that'll be a huge benefit for him. Lithuanians love the relics. Their cavalry get +1 attack, or their Nightline and Lightest, I should say, get +1 attack for every relic that they get up to +4. And Rodrix is playing as the Portuguese, which is another civilization that makes a lot of sense on this map. Rodrix, I love how Rodrix is... He's able to just thread the needle between these two polar bears. This lady is unloomed, and she just like slips right through. So that's pretty impressive. Didn't have to fight these polar bears at all. I mean, maybe he scouted them and he just remembered that this is where they were. Or maybe he just got lucky, I don't know. He probably scouted them and is like, oh, yeah, okay, they're right there. I'm just going to micro her path to perfectly avoid them. Like the 2K3 player that I am. Maybe that's what he was thinking. Don't know. What I do know is that Portuguese are great on maps where resources are limited. And resources are very much limited on this map. I mean, you will run out of gold quickly. You're going to want to come to this island, or you're going to want to try to find one of these neutral piles to keep taking gold. I think both players will open scouts. That's what I would do here. Who am I trying to kid, actually? I would go stone walls somehow. I would open Byzantine stone walls. Love those things. But if I had to make a serious military unit, it would probably be scouts originally. Actually, Byzantine Trash Rush I would think would be pretty effective on this map, because your opponent really only gets one player assigned gold. So you could just camp that with trash units. So Ice-T, let's see, what's he doing? Has he built a dock? Yes, he has. So he's docked, he's in a fishing ship. Ice-T actually, I don't know if he fought a polar bear or not. This villager is slightly hurt. Doesn't look like he fought a polar bear. Maybe they played this on a lower difficulty level or something, and the polar bears had no vision. We can actually check that right now if we want to. Go to Gaia and look at the fog. Oh no, these polar bears seem to have decent vision. Look at that. So they could go for this villager. I'm not sure why he's not trying to go for that villager. It's a good question. Ice-T got a barracks here. Let's go back to Ice-T's perspective. See what he's... Okay, he's got a couple of man-at-arms. So it looks like it's Drush Fast Castle, maybe? Oh no, he's got 2 villagers on the gold. He's getting double bit axe, and he's probably going to build a mining camp here. He's just waiting for the gold to come in. There it is. So now he builds a mining camp. And it looks like it's going to be some kind of man-at-arms push, which could be very damaging. And Rodrix is going to recognize that, you know, this is his gold and he's got to defend it. So he's coming over here to build a mining camp of his own. And Ice-T getting that 3rd militia. I like how both the transport ships are waiting here. You know, you can actually garrison this transport ship and it's slightly faster. So you could use that to sneak over to your opponent's base. They also can't directly see what you've got. Maybe Ice-T is using this transport ship to keep an eye on where his opponent's transport ship is, and that's why this military is coming up and around, so that Rodrix can't see it. And man-at-arms now queued up for Ice-T. Rodrix is going to spot this, probably. Ice-T trying to remain anonymous, but I think Rodrix probably saw it. It's actually... No, he didn't react. You know, he didn't come over here and try to wall this. So it looks like Ice-T is going to get in on Rodrix's woodline, which is a little bit of a blunder for Rodrix. That he didn't scout this. He didn't see this coming. Rodrix has to withdraw. He loses 1 villager and potentially 2. This skirmisher is trying to block this villager so that the man-at-arms can kill it. But Rodrix manages to save it. And now Ice-T... He's done a lot of damage here. He's taken his opponent off of wood, or one of his lumber camps, and he's killed a villager. So now Roderick's is not taking any chances. He's building a watchtower on this gold. He needs this gold. He's got another gold here that he could potentially go out to. It's pretty far out. It's a little bit further than Ice-T's gold. The neutral gold, I guess. And the polar bear is even joining in on the action. So Ice-T... Is that polar bear attacking a villager? It looks like it is. And the polar bear is helping out. Roderick's loses another villager to wild animals. Crazy Joe calling it with the polar bear aggression. Let's see what Roderick's has here. He did manage to save that other villager, although it's weak. It's in the tower. And this man-at-arms, I think, is going to get dogpiled on. Yeah, so that man-at-arms goes down. I think the butcher's bill for this is actually not as bad as we thought for Roderick's. I think Roderick's only lost 2 villagers. And, you know, he doesn't really look like he has any feudal age military at all. So that's why he's getting punished so hard. He has not built any ships. Ice-T has not built any military ships. It's like Roderick's has got some palisade foundations, which I don't really understand over here. Could have been a misclick. Oh, these villagers are going to build them now. Maybe it's just to give him vision. I'm not sure. But I think Roderick's is kind of getting a little bit beat up here. Because he didn't really plan on going feudal age. And he's on his way to the castle age now. He's actually 75% of the way there. So, I mean... He's obviously got a plan. This is not like he's just sort of blundering along. It's just Ice-T hit him pretty hard for going fast castle here. And Ice-T's on his way up to the castle age as well. Ice-T definitely invested more in feudal age military. And here comes these skirmishers. They're wandering around. Looks like they're going to try to camp here. These are Lithuanian skirmishers, so they're a little bit faster. Oh! No, they're not. Yeah, Ice-T should know about that. I believe he knows about that. Oh, his view is so crazy, too. He's very fast. Alright, so he's just going to be a nuisance here. And he sees that his opponent, Roderick's, is up to the Castle Age now. What is Roderick's doing with Castle Age? He's doing a siege push. Does Ice-T know about this? He does. He deletes the house foundation. He just sends the village. Alright. I don't know. I honestly don't get this. Maybe this is like double scorpions or something, because the scorpions cost less gold. It's an interesting choice. I mean, if you're Roderick's, you could deny your opponent's gold this way. It could be a big deal. So Ice-T would basically, if that happened, if let's say 3 or 4 scorpions or something like that came out here, then Ice-T would have to come up here and he would have to take this stone and probably sell stone for gold. Because neither player knows about the neutral golds over here. Neither player has scouted it. So as far as these players know, they both only have access to a single gold. Yep, and here's a monastery from the Portuguese. So Portuguese taking advantage of that gold discount. And sure enough, Ice-T coming over here to take stone. Now, as to whether or not this is stone to sell to make military, or whether or not it's stone to build a defensive castle, it's hard to say. You might, castle, ordinarily it would probably be a castle, but there's nothing really to build a castle on except right here. And at that point, you're just securing the gold that you could have gotten if you built military units, and then those military units can go off and do something else after this area is cleared up. So unfortunately for Roderick's, this knight is going to get in here, but he is doing some repairs to these scorpions. So he does manage to fend off this knight until this monk comes out. And because gold is so much more valuable now, it's like, monks are so much more important, and that Portuguese bonus is much more powerful. Okay, here's another monastery, and Ice-T getting redemption so that he can convert these siege weapons, which is pretty ridiculous. And yeah, it looks like Ice-T is not going to go castle. He's going to go defensive gold units. This is a stone redemption right here. It feels bad, man. Ice-T using the market. Neither player going for these relics in the middle. They're both just at each other's jugulars. I think they sort of have a gentleman's agreement, though. They're kind of letting each other take fish. Ice-T hasn't come over here and poked the bear and tried to... Actually, these are fishing ships. Some of these fishing ships are hurt, so he just hasn't been back, I guess. He did go there before. And Roderick's continuing to churn out some scorpions. It looks like he's definitely out to get Ice-T here. He does not want to give Ice-T the opportunity to boom like last time, or safely, and then cause trouble. So he's definitely adapted here, and that's a good thing. We like to see it when the players adapt. But this map is very aggressive, and Ice-T coming in with his redemption monks, trying to get some conversions. Now he doesn't have the health upgrade, so he loses both of his monks, and he only gets one conversion on these scorpions. Looks like they had a brief pause. And Roderick's manages to quash that. Ice-T continuing to take and sell stone. See if we can figure out what the market prices are. Stone sell is 81, so somebody's been selling a lot of stone. They actually have been selling resources in general. The wood is pretty cheap too. I mean, it's not post-imperial cheap, but it's reasonably cheap. Oops, let's hit this again. Alright, Roderick's with a ram. Ice-T capitalizing on this other stone mine here. Roderick's has a stone mine here and a stone mine here. So Roderick's is not on his stone, but Ice-T is leaning heavily on both of his stones. And he's selling them. Has he gotten the health upgrades for his monks yet? Sanctity. Doesn't look like he's gotten it yet. He's getting it now. That's really helpful against scouts and against siege weapons. And Roderick's really needs to get to the jugular here. He's got all of these. He's got all these scorpions. He's got all these gold units, and he needs to camp like right here. It looks like Roderick's has converted Ice-T's stable, so Ice-T cannot make knights or scouts to deal with the monks. Ice-T just has this one light cav that's left over. And he has to build a new one. And what's this right here? Ice-T, he's going to move into position with some monks, and he's going to try to get some conversions, perhaps. Doesn't look like anybody's nagged any relics yet. Roderick's is pretty bare bones at home. And it looks like Ice-T got some conversions, because he got atonement, and then he deleted the monks. These are Eastern Orthodox style monks, so... yeah, you can see the Lithuanian monks clearly look different. So, Ice-T converted a couple of monks, and I think that this could turn into a redemption monk battle. Roderick's getting devotion, and he's building himself up a ram, and this is just a ridiculous game so far. And it's pretty much devolved into what I thought it would for these civilizations. Both these civilizations have pretty decent monks. And on a map where there's so little gold, like monks and relics and conversions of gold units is just way more valuable, right? And that's what these guys are going for. So we got some conversions here. Ice-T manages to convert a couple of Roderick's monks. And he's managed to keep his town center kind of alive. Okay, he's actually running out of health here. He needs to repair this town center. And Roderick's has spent a lot of gold on siege weapons. And if he had spent an equal amount of gold on monks, he probably could have cleared out Ice-T's convent here. Or, not convent, but retreat, you know, religious retreat. They're basically having a big philosophical debate. But Roderick's thought that he could just tear down Ice-T's town center. He's doing a lot of damage. He just killed like 3 villagers. This town center is almost dead. And Ice-T just trying to get maximum value and just like destroy as many gold-intensive monks as he can. And get as many as he can onto his side. And hope that Roderick's... I mean, he's not on gold at all. He's had to take the stone. And I guess he's building a castle hill here to secure this wood line. Which is kind of desperate. And Roderick's is working on his monastery. Hey, Hyder, welcome. You missed the first 3 games. They were good games. They were actually really good games. This set in particular has been really entertaining to watch. This game has been very crazy. So Rodrix has forced Ice-T to spend stone on a castle. And I don't know where Rodrix... Okay, Rodrix is almost out of gold. You know, Rodrix, give him credit. Like, he may be new to Alchemy League, but he's done a good job. I mean, he kind of had a greedy, fast castle, and Ice-T did some damage to him and set him back a little bit. But now Rodrix is on the offensive. And Ice-T has to respond to this somehow. He's getting overrun with monks. He's getting overrun with mangonels. And a bunch of villagers just go down. That hurts. Oof. And Ice-T, he's making a Lightus, he's making a Light Cav, and he's just trying to survive. Where are all of Rodrix's monks, though? Oh, I think this is a mistake. So he's coming over here to grab the relics, and when he does that, Ice-T times it so that he sends his cavalry to destroy a bunch of siege weapons. Ooh, that's not good timing at all. At least Rodrix will get the relics, though. And Alchemy League being standard victory... Uh-oh. Surely Rodrix knows about the... Yeah, there's still some relics to pick up. He must know about that. He's going to come back here, and he's going to put the relics in this monastery. Okay. And let's see. Ice-T as broke as ever. 45 villagers. No, 50 villagers. And how many villagers does Rodrix have? 39. So both of these guys are 33 minutes into this game in Castle Age, and they've been in Castle Age for at least 5 minutes, probably closer to 10 minutes each. And they've been pummeling each other with monks and atonement and redemption and converting siege weapons and sniping siege weapons. They're just having a really scrappy game. It is a good watch. Ice-T has a lot of fun with this league. I'm glad that he found us. He really has a good time. Okay, Rodrix, looks like he still needs to pick up these other relics, but he's busy, of course, because there's Monk Micro. You look away and you can, like, lose everything. So, like, it is not easy to do all of this stuff with... Actually, wait a second. This transport ship is full of villagers. What the heck? Alright, he's rolling up some more siege weapons from the back. And I think Ice-T, has given up on trying to, like... out-monk Rodrix. Maybe he's looking at it like, Rodrix, I may have the faster working monasteries, but my gold income is not sufficient to keep up with my opponent, especially given that my opponent has cheaper monks. So I think Ice-T is kind of given up on that, and he is going into trash units. Light Cav. He's like, alright, well, Light Cav don't cost any gold. Let's see if we can destroy my opponent's very expensive gold army. And all Rodrix has to do is drop down a barracks and make a few spearmen. And I think he can afford it. And then truly, Ice-T will be out of options. Oh, alright, I see. So, Rodrix is figuring, well, you know, bro didn't finish his gold. You know, he doesn't need it. I guess I'll take it. And so he's town center dropping his opponent's gold, because that's the only gold that he knows about. That's perfect timing from these Light Cav. These monks are just dropping off these relics. Oh boy. I don't know if Ice-T got... And Rodrix is saying low because he's losing all of his monks. Yeah, it's just really bad timing there. Ice-T just timing that really kind of coincidentally, almost perfectly. But the timer is counting down for Rodrix, so, you know, you don't want to give up. He's got a timer here, and Ice-T basically has to destroy this monastery within 200 years, otherwise he can't win. Yeah, the transport ship is like, get away from me. So he does have gold access. And Ice-T has 0 gold. Ice-T cannot take gold. He can't even take stone. He can't even take stone. He has no chance of gold access, except to destroy this monastery and take the relics. Yeah, if those monks had just been a few seconds earlier and, like, had dropped off... Look at this. And Ice-T is like, I don't want you going up against any shoreline at all. He's got light cav on either side, and he just wants to destroy this transport ship now. So now he's chasing the transport ship away. But Rodrix has a town center on his last gold. So all Rodrix needs is like 10 pikemen. And he can keep this monastery safe for a long time. Ice-T abusing the market to build some siege weapons here out of this siege workshop, I can imagine. Rodrix unload. I think the plan was to unload this real quick and then like get a good attack ground on these light cav. Yeah, so Rodrix is going into the pikemen now. He's got a couple barracks and he's sending villagers, but it's too late. The monastery is destroyed. I don't think he ever in a million years thought that he would lose this monastery to light cav. But these pikemen are just a little bit too late. You know, and a lot of this stuff in Age of Empires, it all comes down to timing. Alright, he's going to build a castle here. So Rodrix is like, oh, you know what? I still got my stones. You know, he still had this stone here. He did mine out his other stone, and he's going to build a castle on top of these relics so that his opponent cannot take them. And then he can build a new monastery here, and he can use the pikemen, use the castle, use the monastery, and he can get that relic victory. Because this has been just a crazy game so far. So Ice-T, he does what damage he can, and then he withdraws. And he's going to fight the pikemen too, which actually there aren't really enough pikemen. Alright, so what happens now? So the first thing that happens is Rodrix queues up another monk, and he goes out to pick up these relics. And you can bet that Ice-T is going to be all over these relics, like stink on a pig. He's going to not want Rodrix to snag any of these relics. And Rodrix is going to try to get the more distant ones first. That's what I would do. Because these relics are kind of safe from the castle. He might hop inside. No, he's going to get the closer one first. Well, he might regret that later. Who knows? So Ice-T is at 65 villagers. 66 villagers, and Rodrix is at 46. So Rodrix has spent way more effort on the military here. And Rodrix is the guy with a gold income right now. Ice-T's like, no gold, no problem. I'll just go light cav. Is this relic countdown gonna restart? I don't know that this is, like, what is the harm in building this monastery, like, right next to the castle? Why not? Why not build that monastery right next to the castle? Oh! Ice-T, he has used the market at a critical juncture to pick up a couple of relics. This is a big deal. And because Rodrix didn't get these relics first, he got these relics first, Ice-T was able to do this. So it's a little bit of a miscalc there. That's okay, though. There's a lot happening this game. But I would have built this monastery, like, right next to this castle. You know, and just... because right now, somebody could build a mangonel out here, and they could, like, you know, come over here and attack this monastery. So it just would have been a little bit safer. Now, Rodrix, he's probably pretty good at counting, so he's going to realize his opponent picked up some relics. He's not going to be able to go the relic victory, but he's still Portuguese. And if he can find a way to get to the Imperial Age, which he can't, he could build, at least not right now, not anytime soon, he could build Feitoria. And Rodrix just calling the GGs, realizing he's not going to get that relic countdown, and Ice-T with an incredible comeback on Paradise Island. Wow, what a game! I think Rodrix definitely had an opportunity to win, but you know, we went through the cast. There were a few mistakes looking back on it that Ice-T was very good about punishing. So Ice-T with a really hard-fought set here, and taking 2 wins over an opponent 200 elo higher than him, which is very impressive. Let's take a look at the statistics. 110 units killed and 100 units lost. Roderick's with 15 conversions. So with these, you see this and it's like, oh, that's. But when considering that the villager high for Ice-T was 68, like an average villager count of 55 for these players, or upper 50s, this is a really scrappy, bloody game right here. Roderick's with 9 buildings raised. Ice-T got 11 conversions himself. Ice-T with a slightly larger army of 22 versus 20. Ice-T with more food. Roderick's with more wood. Ice-T with more stone. A lot more stone, and he sold most of this. And Roderick's with way more gold collected. Alright, so Ice-T, better feudal age time. Roderick's did the fast castle. Map explored, slightly better for Roderick's. Society count. Each player had 1 castle. Roderick's captured 4 relics in the end. Ice-T captured 2. Roderick's with way more relic gold. Ice-T only started getting relic gold near the end. And Ice-T with a better villager high, 68 to 52. Hyder says, I know many Italo-Americans use Paisan as a form of salute, but where I'm from, it is a little offensive. Oh. Did not know that. Did not know that. Alright, so guys, thank you so much for joining. I think this is a really entertaining set. We did Metal Mania versus Flying Mouse for the first set, and then we got to see Ice-T go at it with Roderick's. So, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Really appreciate the support for the league. I'm looking forward to continuing to cast games for this league. You guys may have seen in the server an announcement for next season. We'll be going back to Alaska. So that's pretty exciting news. We've got a number of Alaska maps that were nominated for reappearance in Alchemy League. And then we have some potential to reskin some maps that were from one-off contests and such, and integrate them into this really elite group of maps, which is the Alaska Map Pack. So, guys, I really appreciate your time today, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. So thanks, guys, so much, and we'll catch you on the next cast.